It's Thursday, November 19th, and welcome to the New York Amsterdam News Podcast. I'm Cyril Josh Barker. My guests this week are award-winning actress, activist, and producer Gabrielle Union and her business partner, celebrity hairstylist Larry Sims. They're going to be speaking with me about the launch of their Lift As We Climb initiative aimed at supporting Black-owned businesses and community organizations. It's estimated that almost half of Black-owned businesses will not survive the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Actress Gabrielle Union's hair care product company Flawless is a majority Black-owned business. The company is lending its support to others through the Lift As We Climb initiative by highlighting Black-owned brands across its social channels and web pages to elevate visibility and opportunities. The initiative will also support the Black Women's Health Imperative, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the health and wellness of Black women and girls. And we are so pleased to have on the phone with us right now actress Gabrielle Union and celebrity hairstylist Larry Sims. How are you both doing today?
Good, thank you.
All right.
Great, yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. And also on the line with us is our other Am News writer, Vanessa Handy, who's also going to be asking some questions as well. Vanessa, how are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much, Gabrielle and Larry, for doing this. I really appreciate it.
All right.
No, our pleasure.
Well, we're going to kick things off. I'm going to ask the first question, and this is for you, Gabrielle. Give us some background on what exactly Lift As We Climb is, how it got started, and the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, no, well, just as a general tenet of our company, we just believe in lifting as we climb. Our mission is to empower our community, and we believe that through Lift As We are able to support our community through the support of Black-owned businesses, which have taken such a massive hit during the pandemic. We're looking at almost 50% of Black-owned businesses going under during this time. So we just wanted to be able to use our Black-owned company in Flawless by Gabrielle U to lend our support by way of highlighting other Black-owned brands across our social channels and our web pages to elevate visibility and opportunities for those Black-owned owned companies that are in need.
Right. And Larry, what are some of the disparities? I know that Gabrielle just mentioned them. What are some of the disparities that Black-owned businesses are facing, and why is a campaign like Lift As We Climb needed?
Yeah, sure. Unfortunately, once Black businesses go down, that means people lose their jobs. During this pandemic, with so many businesses being lost, that equates to roughly 1 million jobs that affect our community. So it's just super important for us to be able to use our platform to be able to dig people out of a ditch. I'm in business with someone who has a massive platform, obviously, and she basically, talk the talk with even bringing me on as co-founder. She lifted me up and brought me on to help support, the vision of Flawless. And she, in return, is also initiating this Lift As We Climb program for everybody to be helped during this pandemic.
Wonderful. And Vanessa, I believe you're going to ask a question. You have the next question.
Yes, and I've seen from the organizations, businesses that you've already chosen to highlight, there's a pretty big variety between cosmetic brands and even coffee and tea companies. So, Gabrielle, what is the process like for selecting these businesses?
Well, because we launched this initiative through our partnership with Amazon, it just started with looking for Black-owned companies that are sold through Amazon. And we wanted to give a variety of options, just so to remind people that we are everywhere. We're really in here. We are literally doing everything from cosmetics to children's personal care needs to coffee and tea and to women's hygiene products and everything under the sun. We didn't want to just kind of stick to beauty. We wanted to show the diversity of Black entrepreneurship and Black ownership, Black business ownership. So that's just where it started. And we're at the very beginning of this partnership. So we are always going to be looking to expand and find different kinds of companies who are doing different things. And as we grow, the initiative will grow.
Great. And so for Larry, I know that Gabrielle just mentioned the idea of expanding, and I know that this has been a year-round effort and will continue empowering future leaders and business owners. And I know that in the press release, there was also a mention of business mentorship opportunities. Could you just go into that a little bit and maybe talk about if there is a possible mentorship aspect that could come along with Lift as We Climb?
Yeah, absolutely. What's great about our partnerships is that, Sally's, obviously, that's our brick and mortar that we're in. They've been really supportive of the initiative, as well as Amazon. We just did a live with Sally's entrepreneurs that basically were in a contest, all Black-owned businesses, to get their product on shelves. And what was great about it is we were able to have FaceTime with all of these entrepreneurs, and we gave them tips as to how to market their brands and how to position themselves to be accessible on shelves and what to look for in photos. Hour full of education, and Gabby is super hands-on with making sure that we are accessible to the people. We travel to Atlanta and to not only entrepreneurs, but actual employees that Valley. And it just feels to be able to see people got so many positive results and feedbacks in terms of us being able to mentor them.
And Gab, I just wanted to know, a lot of people are just now starting to start their businesses, whether it's making something that they love or, a lot of people are now turning their passions into profits during this pandemic. How could this help somebody, or what advice would you give to someone who's either thinking about starting a business or already has one but just doesn't know exactly where to go?
Yeah. Luckily, through a number of different initiatives, but including flawless talks like Larry was just talking about, and a lot of the things that we discuss on our pages and on our lives when we go live, you have to be over prepared. I wish that was just unique to business, but it's life. The more you are prepared for the worst case scenario, the better prepared you are for success. And it's also equally as important to, as you're preparing your business, to prepare for the best case scenario. We as you prepare for doomsday, which, it's good to have a solid plan in case everything goes south, but also, are you prepared for tremendous success? Do you have the means of production that can deliver the goods in case of success? And we talked about this, on our Sally Beauty Live, where, Larry and I were reasonably prepared. We thought we were prepared, but we were not prepared for the tremendous success of the launch of Flawless. And when we talk about it, we lead with our own example. We lead with full transparency that, we didn't take our own advice. We were not prepared for tremendous success. We were more than prepared for doomsday, but we were not prepared for tremendous success. And it's a tough lesson, and not having product on the shelf when you need it, because folks want to get their hands on it. It taught us an incredible lesson of preparedness for the worst and for the best. So, those are the two biggest. And also try to find new ways to be passionate about your business. If you're creating products that came out of a passion project, awesome. Figure out new ways to innovate so you're always passionate. If your business is solely more like, okay, I know I can provide a service because it's going to be lucrative and that is my passion, you will get burnt out very quickly. So find a way to always have a different kind of skin in the game that isn't just about the bottom line and how much money you're making, but really loving what you do and then innovate on what it is that you're doing. So you're always invested and you're always on your toes and you're never complacent. But that complacency is fueled by passion.
And then Gabrielle, I know that Lift as We Climb is supporting the Black Women's Health Imperative with proceeds in collaboration with the Amazon Smile Foundation. In terms of picking a philanthropic cause to support, why was women's health so important in particular for you?
Because it's so needed. And in a time like, this pandemic, the need has just increased. And we know that COVID has disproportionately impacted communities of color, specifically with Black women being the hardest hit. So, with the Black Women Health Initiative, it's helping our community by providing things like personal care kits that include but not limited to feminine hygiene products. And when you think about the amount of days that young women miss from school or work simply because they do not have feminine hygiene products. We'd like to think of ourselves as a completely developed country, but we have some similar statistics as third world countries because we make access to feminine hygiene a luxury item damn near. So with the Black Women's Health Initiative, we are providing a lot of those things to some of our most marginalized communities, and they're leaning into talking about emotional health and managing stress and creating these emotional wellness guides and kits, that we all so desperately, needed. And the fact that it's like the oldest and it's the only national nonprofit specifically focused on improving health outcomes for Black women, that was a no-brainer for us. It's one of one. So I'm surprised more people were not all racing, to get on board with the National Women's Health Initiative because they're doing all the work,
Mm-hmm. And for Larry, have you seen any sort of tangible impacts in regard to the businesses and the organizations that you have already highlighted? And what has the reaction been from these companies that you've chosen to bring attention to?
Sure, absolutely. It definitely has highlighted companies that people didn't know. Like, for example, I have tons of coffee drinkers that are friends of mine. I don't personally drink coffee, but, people are serious about their coffee. And when they saw the fact that we were highlighting a Black-owned coffee company, like, they were so excited. And I have friends and colleagues that have praised the coffee. We've spoken to a couple of the people that we have, highlighted in our initiative, and they've been so gracious and thankful. And it's just great to see, even if it's just one person that we are turning their business to, one is better than none. And we've definitely been able to do more than one. It's been a lot of people, and it's been enjoyable to see and gratifying as well.
All right. And just to wrap things up here, because I know we're short on time, Gabrielle, I just want to know from you, what is the end goal here? Because there are a lot of Black businesses that are obviously, suffering right now to try and keep their businesses going. Some are even having, even a hard time even competing digitally online with their businesses. But what is the end goal here for Lift as We Climb?
To improve to improve the success rate of Black-owned businesses and to keep our Black dollars circulating in the community. The end goal is to increase, the success and the economic growth, and to ultimately increase generational wealth within the community. And it starts with the upliftment and the amplification of Black-owned businesses. So we're hoping that more and more Black-owned companies do the same. And we reach out and use whatever resources and, platforms and spotlight that we have on our businesses to share the wealth, by way of getting more people to have more awareness about those brands, getting more people, driving more traffic to those products and to those sites. And then hopefully just create this beautiful, highly productive cycle of us supporting us, really dig into the FUBU, for us, by us, where we take care of each other and where we help be a part of the success of each other's businesses. So, hopefully we're all learning from, Black Wall Street and from history and what we can accomplish if we stick together and work together.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, I know firsthand because I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, so I know all about Black Wall Street. We definitely need that. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about. And on top of that, I work for a Black business. Vanessa and I both work for a Black-owned business, so we definitely know how important it is to keep the money circulating in our community. Well, listen, we really appreciate both of you, Larry and Gabrielle, coming on our podcast today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no, our pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
That concludes this week's podcast. You can pick up the latest edition of the New York Amsterdam News on newsstands and get updates online at amsterdamnews.com. You can also keep up with us on Facebook at NY Amsterdam News and follow us on Twitter at NYAmNews. I'm Cyril Josh Barker. Thanks for listening.